All right, so the Robinhood Gold card is here. This card came out recently and it has a big proposition. 3% cash back across the board. That's right, earn 3% cash back on all categories. So, this is the way it works with like everything in life, and credit cards is no different. You get these cards, they have perks, they start with 1% on everything, 2% or 1.5, but then it's on select categories, and then there's 2%, but it's this and it's limited, and then there's 3%, but it's this. And then you got 5%, but it's on rotating categories and all this stuff. And now it's here, a 3% back on everything card. Just a couple years ago, like I said, the 2% back on everything credit card was the new thing. It was on the PayPal, the Apple Card, Citi Double Cash, all these credit cards. That was the it thing. Now, 3% cash back on everything. So this has a lot of people talking. There's some people that's saying that, it might not last. I've seen articles saying that, questioning if it's gonna last. It is a stainless steel credit card, so it's gonna look real nice. It's gold, but stainless steel. So we're gonna get right into this credit card because, like I said, this is pretty crazy. Now, no annual fee. I would definitely expect that because you're not gonna have a 3% cash back card and then put any type of annual fee. That would take people out of interest like immediately. There's 5% cash back when you book through Robinhood travel portal. So okay, that might be a little low because again they gotta overcompensate for some of that, because obviously people are gonna want to travel through other Amex, Chase travel portals, instead of Robinhood travel portal, but because there'll be better options. So I don't know about 5%. That might be a little low, but besides that, this is not doesn't have like too much stuff, because again, it is just a pretty regular credit card. It's not a premium credit card, nothing like that. It really just has the 5% on cashback when you're using their travel portal, and then the 3% back on everything. So as you can see, says reserve your spot. This has still not come out, but this is going to be interesting. So 3% back on everything. My thoughts on it, obviously this is going to be the thing when you have a card like this and they introduce it, no matter even if it's limited, because sometimes you see these credit cards that they come out with crazy benefits, these brand new credit cards that have the benefit of this or that, crazy thing. It makes headlines and then it doesn't last. It'll last 6 months, a year, even sometimes a couple years. So, who knows how long this card will last when it's out. But the thing you have to be, honest with is the fact that it is the only 3% cashback card on everything across the board. So when this card comes out, it's gonna be arguably the best cashback card that you can get, because there's not just gonna be a bunch of competition. Now obviously you have competition with the 5% on rotating, and people are gonna want their cards that they already bank with, because this is Robinhood. They don't have a big ecosystem of credit cards and that you can synergize with. So it's not like everybody's gonna be flocking to this card automatically, but this is gonna have to be a card, especially for people that prefer cashback, that you're gonna have to look at, because it has 3% cashback on everything, an offer that you can't really beat. So hey man, tell me you guys' thoughts on this. Like I said, we're upping those benefits, and like I said, no annual fee or nothing like that. So this is not gonna be something that's gonna gatekeep and put it behind a paywall or anything like that. They've evolved, and now we got a 3% cashback card on everything. So tell me what you guys think about this. This is gonna be real interesting to see what kind of data points we get on this when this comes out. But I will see you guys in the next one.